Hi, welcome to my final presentation of the course Value System and Professional Ethics. My final report is about data privacy and ethical issues in the IT industry. This is outline of my case study. First, I'll talk about the case introduction, and then I'll break down the case study into three parts. First, the case description and the case analysis, and finally, the case solution proposal. Let's begin with case introduction. So as I talked before, the case is about ethical issues in the industry of information technology. More precisely, I'll address topics such as how consumer data be handled by technology firms. First, I'll describe the ethical issues, including parties included and their rights and responsibilities, and also identify the potential ethical and legal issues in the case. Then I'll do some analysis on ethical dilemma. Finally, we will be talking about actions we should take. And if we're facing multiple solutions, I'll analyze strengths and weaknesses of all the different options. Now let's begin with case description. Let's talk about the parties involved in this scenario. There are three parties. First one, the technology companies like Facebook, Google, and Amazon. And then the end users like everyone like us. Finally, the regulation regulation departments like Federal Communication Commission. I'll do the more detailed introduction of each party and discuss the rights and responsibilities in my reports. Let's identify the ethical or legal issues in the case. So nowadays, a majority of Americans agree that business and governments are recording and analyzing their online and offline behaviors with some regularity. So currently, actually, the 60% of US adults claim they do not believe it is possible to go about everyday life without technology companies or government gathering details on them. Currently, the central elements of the new data collection and private security system are based around the premise that users are told of how business gather and use data and ask for permission to use their data in that manner. But these companies actually do as what they told us? Not true. I don't think that's the case. For example, Facebook 2016 election scandal and like the Cambridge Analytica scandal. So we have reasons to believe that user data is not protected well by those companies. Just give you guys a little bit more technical details of how these big companies manipulate and handle our user data. The most popular data analysis algorithm these days is for big data is MapReduce. It's a data analysis model within the Hadoop file system, HDFS. By slicing like petabytes of data into smaller bits and running them in parallel on Hadoop servers, MapReduce enables parallel processing. In the end, there will be a mapper that return combined output back to the application. It aggregates all data from different servers. So with this technology, this technology is implemented on the server where data already residents rather than sending data to where the program or logical residence. So a very good example of the application of MapReduce is that the social media platform like Facebook or Instagram use it to determine how many users sign up for platform in the Pacific from different states. Another example would be a search engine like Google. They use MapReduce to get what is the most popular in the past days in each country. Now let's go to the case analysis part. First, let me identify the ethical dilemma of the case. A typical market practice these days is collection of customer data. Often, organizations use data to learn about their clients so that they have a consumer service that will inspire engagement and market reputation. But what matters about when and how the information obtained, how it is protected as it is processed by the organization, and whether users have a voice on how their data is used. For consumers on social media, there are numerous legal dilemmas, such as like breaking into machines using images without permission and taking ideas. We now have to think in a whole different way about the implication of our actions. Also, open data is information that can be anonymous and useful as an aggregation of data by multiple individuals in order to decide by the way they live. So it is beginning of a great dialogue and disclosure about what's the right solution for human to step on. Let's talk about the role of information technology in the case. I can think of three aspects. They are the first search engine, then social media, and then IoT devices. So for search engine, there are some potential issues. For example, they bias the issue of non-transparency and also personal privacy and informed consent, and then surveillance and control, also the censorship and the democracy. So for social media, sometimes they publish even personal information about your customers or search subjects that violates confidentiality, and also destroy the service you provide, the products you sell, or the level of professionalism to the public. Finally, the IoT devices. Without IoT means Internet of Things. Without proper application of network security, the insecure Internet of Things will bring significant risks to corporate networks, exposure to sensitive data, opportunities for destruction and server loss, and destruction of personal data and private information. Some action choices. The key of the action need to be taken is detailed and well-structured regulation. So, however, there are many challenges to do so, including criticism from tech firms themselves. Even when the tech giants say they support the legislation, their attempts suggest otherwise. So what I'm proposing is to form a brand new regulation administration that is focusing on regulating and restricting technology companies. This is a new regulation form that will be independent from the Federal Communication Commission, as known as FCC. And the responsibility for this new administration will include first establish a normalized legislation, and also establish an overall system of legislation, and finally to digitalize supervision. The reason of my proposal is that recent year we have more and more unfiltered hate speech, misinformation, and conspiracy theories spread on major websites and social medias. So especially in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people are confused by the misleading information online. Some people even lost their lives because of this. More recent, during the 2020 election, internet has also also full of racial discrimination speech, and helping enable groups of white supremacists. For example, some irresponsible theory on Twitter directly led to the breach of the Capitol Hill. Hence, I think we need a further administrator for technology companies. Regulation should be established at least 4 areas: security, privacy, competition, and integrity. Let's talk about some pros and cons of my proposed solution. The pros, the strengths of setting a new regulation administration can help us stop fake news and misleading information online, also protect sensitive data and user privacy from being misused. Also, we'll be able to set a common sense limits and maintain healthy competition in technology industry. It could also help stop some potential illegal activities and terrorism. Now let's talk about disadvantages. First of all, it will surprise. More regulation will always surprise technology innovation, and then it will hurt the freedom of speech because we don't know who should be the person to determine what should and should not be supplied on the internet. And also the cost of running this new administration could be very high, and also it will break the balance between the media and the government. It could give the government too much power and lead to dictatorship, and more regulation will limit the national economy. Finally, it will be very hard to implement laws in virtual places like the internet. To sum it up, internet regulation is always a sensitive topic, but the details need to be stressed and all sides of the debate set out. It is usually done at the level of government, and at the middle, there are several variables at play with various rules and social norms. With a lot less damage, we should be able to appreciate the positive aspects of internet platform in our economy, the future of the society, public health, privacy, and competition is depend on thoughtful and systematical regulation action. Collectively, the BUS proposal are just the first step, and the size and effect of internet networks and their ability to respond to the legislation means the more steps to be taken. Thank you so much. That's all for my presentation, and here's my references. Thank you.